Hello, survivors, and welcome back to another episode of Will You Survive?
The podcast.
That's right. My name is Alex.
And my name is Erik.
And we go over all things horror, mostly zombies, and we've taken some trips outside of the horror genre just to be fun and exciting. Today, though, we are back on our home base. We are going to talk about a lovable, fun Army of the Dead.
For the first time.
Definitely for the first time.
Totally. There's definitely not a file in my computer that's just a dead file that we don't talk about.
We don't have to talk about that.
And no one knows the difference. So, Dave Bautista.
I like him. I liked the premise. It was, again, you got to get over, when we watch some of these things, we have to get over some of the silliness. There was the army shooting everywhere, not hitting their target.
The worst trained army in the world.
Again, we have to kind of think like, okay, I have to get myself out of the mindset that I believe everything is a zombie all the time. And I have to try to transport myself into a universe where zombies don't exist. Because it's just so annoying. They can be 5 feet from the thing and not shoot it in the head. Now, in this particular movie's case, this alpha, this monster that they created, shooting into the head may not have done anything.
I think they showed that it didn't, maybe? Okay, disclaimer, it has been a little bit since we've seen this movie. So we may be a little fuzzy on some of the details. But
I got most of it.
I think you're right that these were very different than most zombies. This, to me, it wasn't quite on the same level, but it was like Nemesis.
Okay.
Where it's like a very intelligent leader.
Yeah.
And, actually, in the last episode, we did Love and Monsters, and we were talking about animal behavior a lot. This was kind of like that, where it was like dealing with a new species of animal.
Okay. I can see a lot of that because we got to see how this thing interacted not only with people just ripping them apart quickly, but we didn't see it until a little later. We got to see how it chose some people for the purpose of turning them. Some it killed. This was okay. This is
well, some would be eaten / bit to just become worker
that's
zombies.
It. Some he would turn into like lieutenants.
Yeah, they weren't the alpha, but they were alphas.
Yes, yes.
I like lieutenants. That's a good way of putting it. I like that.
I think that was like their purpose in it, and I thought it was pretty well done. Of course, I mean, let's just get over the fact that there's some silliness that they did with this movie, but
oh yeah, the silliness is what made it approachable.
I thought so too.
Because if not, it kind of would have felt like Resident Evil, I think.
Yes.
If it wasn't silly.
Specifically Resident Evil Apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it would have felt a lot like that. I enjoyed the setting.
Yep.
I thought Vegas was a good pick. I mean, where else?
I like the story that they gave us, right?
How they barricaded the city?
The city was completely barricaded off.
They pulled a Raccoon City.
Inside. Yep.
They just walled it off.
But I believe it would be easier to do in Vegas because it's nothing but fucking desert.
Yeah. Well,
so you can start outside of all of Vegas,
I guess, and just make
and build a wall, way big. I mean, you could go all the way to Baker, and the zombies didn't show any interest in leaving.
Yeah, they just wanted to take the city.
They wanted the city
because they were led. See, this is very different than most zombie movies because they were organized and they were led.
Yep.
It wasn't just a primal drive for food. They followed the alpha in making a civilization, which they made very clear they're not what you think they are. When they first re-entered that city, and I forget her name. She was the coyote, I think is what they called her.
Oh, I think that was her name. Let me look here real quick. I think they did call her.
I think she
Lily.
Was the coyote.
But all I knew her as was the coyote.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lily was her name.
She brought that dirtbag officer specifically to use him as a sacrifice. She knew exactly what she was doing. It was a sacrifice.
That's right.
To appeal to the alphas, and the alphas would allow them to roam the city without harm.
Yes.
Which is mind-blowing. you can make deals with these zombies.
Yep.
And they're willing to honor their deal. They weren't. Now, it wasn't like no one will harm you now. It was, we won't mess with you. But if you go walking into a horde,
It's your problem.
that's on you.
Yep.
But if you're just walking the streets, we're not going to swarm you and try to attack you.
That's right.
Which,
I
that
thought-
is incredible.
And one of the things that we have to say, just to be fair to this movie, is the Alpha was created by the military. So it wasn't like a regular zombie apocalypse where you don't know how, you don't know where, you don't know when. Like, this was genetically modified to be a zombie.
This was like Resident Evil 3. Remember when they had that one zombie that they had the kids puzzle?
Yes.
It's a lot like that.
Wow. Yes. Okay. Damn. The more you say that, the more your point is very well taken.
Also,
That if
they
they
went to
didn't-
Vegas in Resident Evil 3.
If they didn't do something different, this would have just been that same movie.
Yeah.
Which the difference here was we have a businessman who comes and gives them a proposal, go back into my casino, get my cash out.
Was it his casino? I don't
Yeah.
think it was his.
Oh, no, they were robbing it, weren't
yeah,
they?
it was just well.
We
'cause
know
all
that there's this much money down
Yeah,
there.
all that money was just free grabs if anybody could get to it. But
Yep.
that was the problem, was getting to it.
And if you get to it, like, I'll fund you. If you get to it, you get to keep this much money. And then we find out that what they wanted, what he wanted, had nothing to do with the money at all. And he had no intention of letting any of them survive,
Yeah.
which is always the case for all of these stories.
I mean, so here's the thing. Any billionaire, any super rich dude, I don't know how you get that rich by doing morally good things. I don't know if anybody who has that much money, you're really going off of like, what's your definition of good and morality? Because if you go down a religious route, no one's moral, no one's good.
That's right.
So it doesn't matter. But at the same time, if you go from just an objective morality, religion aside, I don't think you become a billionaire by good deeds.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see your point.
Now, I don't fault people for it. This is not to get political. But for instance, Trump and his taxes. That's not uncommon. A lot of millionaires and billionaires do the tax things that he does because it's not illegal. It's a loophole in our system.
Well, I mean, funny enough, to say it accurately, it's not even a loophole. It's just clearly laid out in the statutes.
Well, yeah, it's abusing.
You can take
the
these
system.
deductions. No, it's not. It's the way the tax system is set up. You can do this. You owe this tax.
Do you
However,
think it should be that way?
I personally, I have a strange view on all of this. I think there should be a flat tax.
I agree. Yeah,
I think that everybody should pay the same amount.
I've heard that recently.
percentage-wise.
Yeah.
I also have, now this is where I get controversial. I also don't think American citizens should pay tax. I also
heard
don't
you
think
say
we
that.
should have closed borders. I think open the borders. Everybody has to come through legally. You have to enter legally. If you enter illegally, because we let anybody in, if you enter illegally, you are immediately disqualified and cannot ever get legal status in the United States, right? So the incentive is to just come through the port. We'll let you in. We're going to give you a tax identification number, and non-citizens pay all of the taxes.
See, I could see that, but I think with how inefficient the government is, I can't see any way that they would keep track of all those people.
Well, I mean, up until now, letting people just flood across, they've done a really good job.
I mean, that's true.
They had permanent resident aliens. They had green card people. I mean, and again, the incentive is, the point rather, is not that the government has to track you, right? The point is, and the incentive is, you have no reason to come on a visa and overstay your visa.
Yeah, because then you're paying taxes.
Right. Well, you're paying taxes. Or you come on a visa, you're not a citizen, so you're not paying any taxes. But there is no reason whatsoever for you to be illegal, right? You're on a visa and you decide, I came to visit, but I think I want to live here. You go to the nearest immigration office, you file the paperwork, you get your tax identification number, you're a citizen. There is no reason to hide yourself from the government, right? So the incentive is not to put the burden on the government. It's to put the burden on you, on the individual. The individual wants to become a United States citizen because I go through the process. I become a legal resident alien. I'm paying taxes. And after so many years of being a good, upstanding citizen, paying my taxes, doing everything, not getting into trouble, not committing crimes, not, all of the unsavory things of society, and you become a citizen.
I've heard you talk about that before, but I do like the idea of just a straight up flat tax and get rid of all the other ridiculous taxes that we have. Because the thing is, I don't even necessarily hate income tax. I think it's kind of stupid, but what bugs me about income tax is that you tax me on my income, and then you tax me on my gas, and then you tax me on my groceries, and then you tax me on my grocery bags.
You're not supposed to tax on groceries, on necessaries.
Services,
right?
yeah.
All the think of it this way.
Anything that's prepped. Like
anything
if
on
somebody
the inside
makes
aisles.
Yeah, well, because if somebody makes it, then it can be taxed.
Right.
But either way, you're taxing me on my gas, and then you tax me on the bags.
Taxing me on my sale goods.
Yeah. So there's so many taxes.
Right.
That I'm being taxed after already being taxed.
Right.
Why?
In California, if you're a homeowner, you're paying upwards of 46% in all taxes.
It's
gas
crazy.
tax, sales tax, property tax, income tax, gift tax, inheritance tax, all of
And our
the taxes
infrastructure
that
is
there.
horrible.
It's absolutely terrible.
So where's this money going?
To the government, to the people, the people in the government, not to.
I was going to say to the people.
Not to where they want it. Not to where the people who voted for these taxes, the money's not going to where they wanted it to go.
Yeah, well, where they said it would go.
Right. And so.
But not to get political. My whole point there is, I forget what my whole point there was. It was about taxes. I brought up that what Trump does with his taxes is no different than what
you had
anybody
said,
does.
a billionaire is likely not to have avoided all immoral acts to become a billionaire. And I can't disagree with you because I'm not a billionaire. I've had to make choices, and I could have made what I considered bad choices, and I could have made a lot of fucking money. I just couldn't do it.
It seems to be that bad morality and money go hand in hand a lot of the time.
I think so. I think you have to choose money over your soul let me say it this way. You have to choose money over your soul if you're going to get rich quick.
Yes.
Right? I've always heard this saying lately. I've always heard this saying lately. I've always heard this. I've heard this saying lately. Fast money comes with slow problems. You get money quickly, the problems take long, but they will start to develop, and you will start to see the problems that are associated with you getting money super fast. In my case, I would have seen it in the moral choice that I would have had to make. I was actively being offered money that would have hurt other people, and I didn't. I wanted no part of that. So it's things like that I think are really rough and tough, that you can't make fast money without it costing you something, right? It's going to cost you something. Everything that we do, when you want to make money, you want to go into business, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a lot of time, a lot of sweat, a lot of effort, a lot of heartache, a lot of stress. But you persevere, you push through, you can eventually get to be that person. Now, I think you're right in the sense that I think give us that opportunity, right? You and I, we're starting a business. We're trying to make this thing work. And we start seeing success, and we start getting money, and we start being offered business deals. And we can, let's say we take the I don't want to say moral route, right? But we take the right road. We choose to do things the right way.
I think you could be a millionaire if you do things the right way.
But I do think you're right, because I do think you and I I'm not talking for the world. I'm not talking for anybody else. I'm saying you and I. There's things that I know you would do with money, and I would never stop you 1 second. If you had your druthers, and I'm just guessing this, if you had your druthers, you had millions of dollars. My guess is you would own animal shelters, and you would take care of dogs, and you would take care of.
That's interesting. I never even considered that.
Really?
No.
That's what I would picture you would want to do. Like you would want to rescue abused animals. And
I have thought that if I were to get a lot of money, like millions of dollars, I would reinvest it into businesses. This is stupid and not at all like real life, but I have this little business game on my phone that I absolutely love, and it's just numbers. It's all it is. Hourly, you accumulate a certain amount of money. And as you upgrade things and buy new rental properties and upgrade those properties, you get more money per hour. And I'm making billions per hour now because I've been playing the game for a little bit. But it sparked some weird thing in me where I'm like, I do have a little bit of an interest in business. I don't know if I necessarily want to be a full out like business person because that kind of like, I don't know how to describe that. That just doesn't seem like me.
I think you're going to have to deal in business. You're going to have to deal with unsavory people.
Yeah, it's not the people. It's the.
It is for me.
It's the actual business. I'm very charismatic. I like to think. Sometimes I feel really awkward in conversations. I've realized recently I use laughter as a kind of as a filler.
Yep.
And I've tried to stop myself because sometimes I'm laughing because I'm nervous and someone's telling me something really serious.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I swear I'm not laughing at your situation. I just don't know how to act.
I get it. I'm going to tell you something funny. I'm guessing because you're saying you don't know how to act and you're not sure if this is appropriate. You haven't been confronted by somebody. So your method of dealing with it is far more socially acceptable than mine because I will sit there and stare at you.
That's what I've been trying to make myself do.
I get told that I'm rude a lot of times because if you say something to me that I think is awkward or I don't know how to respond, I've told people I don't know how you want me to respond to that.
See, to me, that's man, we really are a lot alike. I realize that more and more. To me, that makes perfect sense because there's been times where, like I said, sometimes when I feel awkward, I just laugh.
Yep.
Because I don't know, that's just how I respond to it. And there's been times where later I'm like in the shower, I'm laying in bed, and I think about it. I'm like, I shouldn't have laughed at that. That wasn't funny. That was weird for that person to say that.
I think as I understand it, that's anxiety brain.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you have anxiety?
I do. Not a lot. I do have a little bit of anxiety. I don't really have social anxiety or anything like that. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
And that's why I don't think zombies would ever be a real threat.
I agree because...
Whoa, I'll get my kukuri.
Wait. I think he's saying something.
Zombies don't talk.
Just wait a sec. What was that?
You need a loan? What, are you going to buy a house?
What do you need a loan for?
I think he wants to buy a home. Don't we know someone who can help him with that?
Yeah, we do. Have you heard of Corinne Salas at Next Home Grandview in Glendale, California?
Mm-hmm. She can help you get moved into your forever home now.
Your eternal resting place, if you will. Or forever home. That works. Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime like this guy. Call Corinne today at 714-510-6443. You can also find her on Instagram at Next Home by Corinne or visit her website at corinnesalas.nexthomegrandview.com. That's CORINNESALAS.nexthomegrandview.com.
Not food.
Sorry about that. There might be a weird, awkward cut there. I had to take a call. But yeah, I don't really have like a lot of social anxiety, I don't think. But there are some times where I'm like, I just don't know how to respond I think you were trying to make a joke and it just didn't land with
Right.
me. And I don't want to be rude, but I also I'm realizing that it's disingenuous for me to laugh.
Well, let me ask you a question. This will help me to understand a little better. If someone asks you a question that can be a yes or no, but it could also be a longer-winded answer, which do you choose to give?
I want to give the short answer, but I apparently love talking and always end up giving a long-winded answer. It's my plague on Instagram. When I'm just trying to give a quick reply or a quick comment on something and it ends up being a paragraph, and then I end up deleting it because I'm like, no one wants to read a fucking whole paragraph, dude. Like, come on.
Now, I'm more so talking in personal contact. I'm the short answer. And I've been told many times, like I've actually kind of gotten into wrestling matches because I've been told, don't make me pull teeth to get information out of you. And my response was, don't ask yes or no questions.
Well, okay. So I see both sides of that because I think I'm like in a middle where I understand with your job, a lot of things are very yes or no. It is, did you get this done? Yes.
And
or
silence
no.
is golden.
And that's all you have to say. Yes, I got it done. No, I didn't get it done. Why didn't you get it done? I didn't get it done because of this, this, and this.
Yep.
But nothing else. It's not, oh, I didn't get it done because of this, and then this happened. But I could do this. If you want me to do this, I could do that.
Right.
It's not that. It's I'm answering exactly what you asked.
Yep.
I just need your answer, yes or no, as few words as possible.
Yep.
Because you're making split-second decisions. It's not. I don't need a long-winded response.
Right.
I just need you to tell me what I asked.
Right.
But when it comes,
don't talk to me when I can't listen to you. I'm asking you a question. I need you to give me a direct answer so I can make the next decision.
Mm-hmm.
I can't listen to your explanation.
See, when it comes to emotional conversations, though, when it comes to talking to somebody one-on-one, not work-related, then I think people do expect more out of answers.
I didn't used to. I used to still only give one-word answers.
Well, there's a fun psychology fact. It's that if you want more information, stay silent.
It doesn't work with me.
See, that fucks people.
Somebody told me that about me, and this was back in a previous job. I worked at a law firm, and one of the lawyers had said, wow, you're a fascinating specimen. And I said, why? Or subject. That's what he said. Subject. You're a fascinating subject. I said, why? He said, you are very comfortable in silence.
See, I want to be more like that because I genuinely don't mind silence. Especially in conversations. We've sat on the phone for a while at a time, just not saying anything, and then I'm like, I guess we could hang up.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But I've always done that where I do like to talk and I like having conversations with people, but I also don't mind just sitting in silence.
That is probably one of my favorite things about my relationship now is I'm not judged for sitting silently.
I think it weirds a lot of people
It
out.
does. But see, what most people, I'm really convinced I can say most people would never understand my brain because I spend more time in prayer than I do talking to people.
I don't do that.
So the second that this conversation is over, I'm quiet because I'm talking to somebody, but I'm talking to somebody in silence.
I like the memes where it's like what people think prayer is like, and it's somebody like, "Oh dear Lord, Father who thou art in heaven, please hear my prayer as I request that." And it's like what prayer is actually like. I know. You said that I should trust you, but I mean, you know me. That's
you
so
know
hard.
my heart.
Yeah.
You know my heart.
It's a lot like that where you're just sitting there talking.
I wanted to. I tried. I really, really tried.
It's like talking to a therapist. 'Cause like 90% of the time, they're just listening to you vent and
you
just
know,
ramble.
The interesting part about prayer is you have to come to the acknowledgement that the other party knows everything, 100%.
Yeah.
And you do start to unravel yourself when you know you're lying to yourself. And it's like, no, you know what? That's a lie.
You know
I'm fooling
something?
myself.
Your brother told me this. He said, you can lie to me, you can lie to the world, you can lie to everybody, but do not lie to yourself.
Yep.
Because even if you can convince yourself, why make yourself your own enemy? That doesn't make any sense.
Tarnishes your soul.
Yeah, if you're going to lie to everybody else, who gives a shit? Lie to everybody else, who cares? But why are you lying to yourself? Who are you fooling?
Which I think, to bring this all the way back full circle, I think in order to get that fast money, become that billionaire quickly like that, I think at some point you're lying to yourself. I'm a good person. I'm okay.
You have to be willing to
Nothing's wrong with me.
give that up.
Right. And I think you've convinced yourself that no matter what you do, you're okay. Now, I hope to be wrong. Right. One of my favorite quotes somebody said was, "You're gonna be surprised at who's in heaven and who's not." I love that because it's not my place to judge anybody. I'm just working out myself.
They're here.
Who?
The zombies.
I thought the gate would stop them.
They knocked it down instantly.
How much time do we have?
They're already here.
We should have bought that beautiful Los Angeles dream house in that safe neighborhood that Corinne showed us.
I know, it was so much more defensible, and Corinne would have had us moved in before the apocalypse.
Do you think it's too late to call her now?
I'll try. No! Ah! We should have called Corinne sooner!
Don't wait until it's too late. Call Corinne Salas today at 714-510-6443 and buy your Los Angeles dream house now. That's 714-510-6443. You can also find her on Instagram at Next Home by Corinne or visit her website at corinnesalas.nexthomegrandview.com. That's CORINNESALAS.nexthomegrandview.com. Now, I have to ask you. You hear an emergency broadcast on the TV about a sudden zombie outbreak. Your first reaction is to A, immediately gather essential supplies and barricade your home. B, call all your friends and family to check on them. C, panic and freeze up, not sure what to do next. D, laugh it off, assuming it's a prank or fake news.
Well, I was pretty confident in my answer until you brought up that last one. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's not unlikely, but I mean, with headlines nowadays, do you know how many times I've read zombie in a headline recently? And it's never as fun as it sounds.
I know.
So, I mean, I do unfortunately think my first thought would be like, oh, great, they found some new insect zombie virus. And then, you know, LA's on fire, and I'm like, oh, no, they were serious. Okay.
Well, let's say for some reason, let's assume that they've convinced you.
Okay, so it's an emergency broadcast.
emergency broadcast.
This is very official.
Right.
What was the first two?
Immediately gather essential supplies and barricade your home, or B, call your friends and family to check on them.
I mean, I feel like you could do two of those at once.
I feel like you can too. We don't
Right.
any longer have to go home and call. You can call while you're on your way home.
Well, I mean,
You could call while you're gathering essential supplies.
how fast do you think the phone lines would go down?
Oh, that is a great point.
Because in most movies, it happens pretty fast.
I think the lines would be busy pretty quickly depending on how serious and how widespread it is.
How fast it hits. I
Yep.
think if
'Cause
LA,
the 911 calls would be off the hook.
let's say 3 infected got loose in LA. Already, that's way too many.
Yep.
Already. 3 infected in the center of LA.
Yep.
LA's lost.
Yep.
I'm already convinced it's gone. The second panic hits, everybody's going to be calling family, calling 911, calling around. I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't
That's a
know
good point.
how reliable the phone lines would
Now,
be.
my first instinct, which I think I would go off of, is A, immediately gather essential supplies and barricade your home.
So
That's what I've always said on the podcast.
That's what I think the correct answer would be, although I do think you can do A and B at the same time.
I think you could try.
But I think if you had to pick one, A. So here's my question. Are we convening at the apartment, or are we convening at Redacted?
At first, at first you're convening at the apartment.
So the thing about that, I think redacted is a much better defensible.
It's not.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh.
The gates are easy to come down.
See, I was thinking about that. I was literally thinking about that today, the gates. And I thought the biggest concern would be that they can come down. But if we're just talking regular zombies, not World War Z, let's think Night of the Living zombies or Night of the Living Dead zombies, where they're slow, they're not anything super special.
Walking Dead?
Yeah, it's like Walking Dead. Do you think a cluster of them could take the gate down?
Easily.
Really?
Easily. Wind has taken those gates down.
Oh, no. Okay, no, I thought they were much more sturdy.
No.
Damn.
No, it would be lock it up because the building itself is not going anywhere.
So do you think that would be a better defensible area?
I think the whole building would actually be secure. So that's why I would say if I was there, my thing would be lock everything down and wait, right? Because we would have to lock it all down and stand by because you won't be able to get out. You're going to be surrounded in no time.
That's what I was wondering is...
if I had time and we had enough cars, I'd use the cars to block the fence to fortify the fences so that they can't be pushed in.
Yeah.
They might be pulled down, right? And that would eventually become a problem. But you could buy yourself some time. I know that would be the case. Ideally, we would have wrought iron all the way around, which would just be fucking fantastic because that would be anchored into the ground. That would be...
That's how I thought it was.
No,
already.
I mean, it is, but it's aluminum. With enough pressure, you can snap them. But
so the main thing I was thinking about that place is the roof access.
Yep. That's also good.
You could start farms and stuff up there.
If you can, on the backyard, if you can fortify the lot, the backyard, and the building, yeah, you can...
Well, I thought that lot would be prime space just for anything.
Yep.
For farms.
Any lot. And you would have to because we're in the city.
Projects.
Like, there's nowhere else to do that.
We're in a really unfortunate
go
spot.
up in the hills.
I mean, that to me would be the better choice regardless.
Yeah, because it's harder for them to climb, right? They have a harder time.
Colder.
I think in all regards, zombies have a hard time climbing.
So we talked about this. I don't think we ever talked about this on the podcast. Stairs. I think stairs would be a zombie's worst nightmare. Because if we're talking about a brain dead zombie.
A real zombie, not Dawn of the Dead.
Not Dawn of the Dead.
Where they ran up them like
No,
nothing.
not Dawn of the Dead. Let's talk like a traditional, like let's say the zombies from The Walking Dead. I think it's crazy that zombies from The Walking Dead could even walk upstairs.
In that regard, I think you're right because they don't have any dexterity. They don't have any agility. Like why would it be fair to assume that they can't open a door? They can't turn a doorknob. Like an open, unlocked door, they can't turn it and push their way in, but they can climb stairs, no problem.
Well, I'm also thinking...
I think down would be worse, too.
I'm thinking, like, the brain power. I don't know. Stairs are something I actively think about when I approach them. When I approach stairs, I'm not thinking like, okay, Eric, it's a stair. Get ready. Left foot, right foot. It's not like that. But, like, I'm going up to stairs, and I'm plotting out, like, that step. Because I take them by twos.
Okay, but to be fair, and this is not to disagree with you. I'm actually in full agreement. But to be fair, to give a more accurate assessment, yes, when you're completely sober, you never think about it. If you've ever been way drunk, yeah, you have to think one foot before the other. And that's just inebriated.
Yeah, so I think that's more accurate.
Yes.
And I don't think a zombie even has an inebriated mental faculties. It's even less. It would be pure primal, which... So animals... I don't doubt that an elk or a moose or a dog or a cat can walk upstairs because they can, and they do all the time. Bears can too. They understand how steps work, but I think they have more going on upstairs in their brain than a zombie.
I've also seen them get like discombobulated when it's slick material, when it's smooth surface, and they like start sliding around, and they're like, okay, fuck this.
We had a greyhound. We put him in one of the metal crates, and he stepped in and just started violently shaking, and he did not like the metal on the bottom. So we took him out. We put him in one of the plastic tray crates, like the bottom is a plastic tray. Totally fine. Yeah. He was totally fine in there. But the metal, he did not like it, which was weird because his sister, who is same size greyhound, she didn't care at all. She was fine. That's another example of animal personalities being so different.
What about this one? Walking down a deserted street, you spot a group of strangers. How do you approach them?
I don't.
A, observe from a distance and assess their intentions. B, approach cautiously, signaling peace but ready to defend. C, walk up confidently, believing in the goodness of people.
It's a way to die.
D, avoid them entirely, taking a different route. I think we're on D.
So, I'm between D and A.
I could see that.
So
I could see that.
A is entirely dependent on if they've spotted me. Did it specify if they spotted you?
Nope, because you have the ability to avoid them entirely, so they haven't spotted you.
So in that case, I do kind of want to see what's going on because there's strength in numbers. But also, I'm already not a super trusting person. Yep. I'm not. I don't not trust people. I'm a big fan of I will trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. But I'm also not stupid.
Right.
So I don't put myself in weird situations because I just trust random strangers.
So here's my problem with A. Observe from a distance and assess their intentions. The longer you stay, the more likely it becomes that they're going to spot you.
That, and also how I question how accurately you could judge someone's intentions from a distance.
True. I mean, if they have not spotted you, which we're assuming, they have not spotted you, they are more likely to reveal their true nature.
That's true.
Amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you can observe them long enough, you can gather a good amount, right?
Yeah, but I think it's tricky because also I kind of wonder how close to your base are you? If you're really close to your base and there's people walking around, I want to know who's around me.
Yep.
I want to know, is there another settlement nearby? Should I be worried about this? Are these people looters? Are they looking to hurt people? I don't know. But to be honest, that feels like a group decision. That feels like a take that in, like go away, take that info to your colony and be like, us. Hey,
we're the group. I'm with avoid them entirely, taking a different route. It doesn't say anything like they have anything to offer us. And it's just you and me, right? We don't have, or maybe we have, a few people with us. So
I would hope so.
Maybe if we're a small group, we're just a family. I think avoid them entirely.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna pick that D.
Are we doing a quiz?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which of the following would you prioritize as a must-have in your survival backpack? A comprehensive first aid kit with medicines, canned food and bottled water for several days, photos and sentimental items to keep your spirit up, a multi-purpose tool like a Swiss Army knife.
Oh, I think there's way better multi-purpose tools. But that's tough because the first one I want to go with is medical supplies because I think those might be the hardest to come across.
Good.
But also not. Like, I do think medical supplies, I think like antibiotics and things like that will be hard to come across. But I don't think like Band-Aids, needles,
No, it's specifically saying comprehensive first aid kit with medicines.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think that like basic medical supplies like needle and thread for stitches, alcohol, like rubbing alcohol. I don't think things like that are necessarily going to be all that uncommon to come across because I would imagine that you could probably search a few bathrooms in a local area and find some stuff that you could use. Maybe, like I said, I don't think antibiotics would be the most common thing in the world. I think that would be your hardest find. But I'm stuck between A and B because food and water are going to be so scarce.
And that is true. The one thing I don't like about what they're saying is they're saying canned food and bottled water, because that's for several days. You need 1 gallon of water per person per day. And the canned food, you're carrying that in your backpack?
So that's a starter for sure. Because if we're talking long-term survival, if you're not just trying to survive the week.
No, but this says canned food and bottled water for several days.
Well, that's what I mean. If you're not just trying to survive the week, if you're trying to survive, then eventually you're going to have to create a reusable or a replenishable source of food
and water.
You're going to have to start farming, collecting rainwater. So that's nothing more than a starter. I think the medical supplies, you're going to have stuff that you probably couldn't find otherwise, or would be very unlikely to find.
This goes along with your game. So I agree. Comprehensive first aid kit with medicines is the better way to go. I think, especially at the beginning, we'll have more opportunity to find food and water, and it's way heavier to carry. So as a matter of putting something in a backpack, first aid kit with medicines.
Yeah.
All right, here's a good one. You're being chased by a horde of zombies, and up ahead there's a river. What's your next move? Dive in, hoping the current will carry you to safety. Look for a sturdy tree or building to climb. Set a distraction like a loud noise or fire and then hide. Stand your ground and fight off as many as you can. I'm Leroy Jenkins, man, but that's not realistic.
Yeah. So I was going to say C and D are both bad answers. How are you going to stop and make a distraction when there is a horde chasing you?
Well, if they're slow,
I suppose to be honest, the river seems like your best bet.
I agree.
Because they can't swim. So just swim to the other side and watch them all get washed away.
Yep. I agree. I think that's A.
Climbing seems like the same mistake people would make with a bear, except they can't climb. Instead, you're going to climb a tree and then there's just 20 zombies underneath you. What are you going to do now?
Now, there's
very
one thing that we didn't think about, which it's not necessary to think about this, is does your answer change if it's wintertime and the water's freezing cold?
Man.
Because I think it's still the best answer.
Oh, man. I don't know. I think that does change my answer. Because I really don't like cold, and I think I'm more susceptible to hypothermia than you are.
Okay.
So
would you look for a tree or a building to climb, or would you go for the set a distraction like a loud noise or a fire?
I would go for the distraction at that point. I that would be my last resort. Would be jumping in the river. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a no. It would
just
be
if it's freezing.
Between those two answers, if it's freezing, I'm gonna try the distraction before I jump in.
Okay.
Because once you get out, you have to find a way to get warm.
You know what? I think that's the better answer then. Set a distraction like a loud noise or a fire, because if it works, you don't have to get in the water. If it doesn't work, you still get to jump in.
Yeah. I mean, if it's hot, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
It's whatever.
I mean, even if it's temperate, it doesn't have to be hot.
If it's just in LA, if it's fall in LA,
right,
you'll be okay. You'll dry off within an hour.
Sure.
You'll be fine.
Yep.
Right now, with how cold it is outside,
suck.
I mean, it's not freezing outside, but
then again, if you have the ability to light a fire, theoretically, you get in the water, you get out of the water, you're safe, you can light a fire.
That's assuming you're safe. And then the thing is, all your clothes are soaked.
Right.
So you will be cold unless you take off all your clothes and let them dry. Yep. And then you're going to be even more cold because you're naked now.
Unless you have a fire going. Which,
I mean,
then you're visible.
Even then, I think with the fire... So this is a personal thing. I don't like air touching my skin. That's why I wear a lot of hoodies and long sleeves. When air touches my skin, I feel cold. Almost always. So the only time you'll ever see me out in a short sleeve is when it's really hot outside.
Okay.
So being naked in the woods, even near a fire, I would be freezing.
Okay.
I have to be covered.
Wow, that's interesting. So I think C has to be our answer. We have to go for a distraction first.
Yeah, I think yeah. If we're talking about your first reaction, I do think C would probably be the better.
Okay.
Depends a little bit.
Upon entering a deserted supermarket, what's the first thing you search for? Non-perishable food items and water, weapons or items that can be used as such, other survivors who might be hiding, a safe place to rest and gather your thoughts.
Well,
You
that's
said
tough.
supermarket. I don't think I'm going to look for weapons first.
No. So I was gonna say that it kind of depends. Do I have a weapon? Because if this is new into the apocalypse or recent into the apocalypse, and I don't have a reliable weapon, maybe I'm going to the garden section looking for a weapon.
A trowel, something?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking like maybe like a really hefty rake or like a hefty spade.
I mean, this says supermarket.
I mean, Walmart's considered a supermarket.
Okay. All right. I guess if we're thinking Walmart, I always had in my mind, like you said, supermarket. I would
Smart
think
and Final.
like Smart and Final, Vaughn's, Ralph's,
If we're thinking a grocery store,
grocery store. But this says supermarket, so it could be a Target, it could be a Walmart.
yeah. So I think it really
I think
depends.
you're right. They both have.
Depends what I have already. I think if you're going to a supermarket, you're probably looking for food.
Right.
So that's more likely. But I do like the idea of checking for survivors first.
I go for that first.
I like that idea.
Because that's how you always get caught in movies and somebody holds you up, and then you're fighting to get out of a sticky situation.
Yeah, I would rather know who's in there. I would, before I do any looting,
Yep.
I'm scouting the whole area.
Because you and I have both said many, many, many times, the real problem is not the zombies, it's other people.
It's people.
Okay. While scavenging for resources, you find a dog. What do you do?
I befriend the dog and kill myself if it doesn't like me.
That's what I think. Take it with you. It could be a great companion and alarm system.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you. Easy peasy. That was the easiest answer we came to. Mm-hmm. Which location would you choose as your long-term base during the apocalypse?
Go.
A remote mountain cabin. Love it. A fortified city skyscraper.
No.
Love it. An underground bunker. Love it. An island in the middle of a large lake. God, I think island.
I think the island is a big, yeah. I mean, you're zombie free. You don't have to worry about zombies. Unless they're like World War Z zombies where they could just walk through the lake.
Yeah.
And just not care, because then they're even worse.
You remember that in the book?
Yeah, the bloated zombies in Santa Monica.
Stuck in
San Diego.
What about the ones that were stuck in the submarine?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even read that one.
You didn't?
No.
So a submarine captain gave his account and talked about how they got sucked up into the vents. They clogged the vents and made all kinds of problems.
Wow, I don't remember that one.
That was a good one. So I think island.
Yeah, I think island because fortified skyscraper sounds great because you have a crap ton of room. The problem is you're still in the middle of a big city.
It is true.
And that means there's millions of zombies around you.
Also
already
true.
A big no-no. The mountain cabin is cool. I just think it's going to be hard to grow stuff in the winter. Mm-hmm. It's going to be hard to grow stuff in general because it's all rocky and mountainous.
Although you will have water. But now an island in the middle of a lake, you have water, you have the ability to grow food, you have secluded area.
It's just better.
Yep. Now, a member of your group gets bitten. How do you handle the situation?
Oh, where do they get bit?
Doesn't say. Quarantine them immediately, monitor their condition, comfort them and allow them to spend their last moments with the group, euthanize them swiftly to prevent them from turning, leave the group with them, hoping for a miracle.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I'm not hoping for a miracle. Whoa.
No, I'm not hoping for a miracle either. But here's the thing. You don't know if someone happens to be immune. And if somebody is immune, that is incredibly important. Euthanizing them swiftly right away is, I think, the smart option. But I do think it's
the smart, ignorant option.
Yeah.
And you will remain ignorant.
because you don't know what if they were immune.
Quarantine them immediately. Monitor their situation is the best option because we're taking out the variable of being ignorant of if there is such a thing as an immunity. Mm-hmm. And so I think that is the best thing. If you can safely quarantine someone, that's the best thing. And also this goes back to something that the people never got to hear, but my argument of killing is always bad. If I can avoid euthanizing someone for my convenience, I'm going to. If I can safely quarantine them and wait for them to turn, then I'm not killing a human being.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I immediately thought of was I thought of the girl from World War Z, where he chopped off her arm.
Right.
That's
right.
why
That's
I
why you
asked
asked where'd they get bit.
Where'd they get bit? Because if they got bit on their hand, I'm chopping off from the elbow down.
So let's just eliminate that and say they got bit on the hand, but they got bit on the hand while they were out and they came back with the bite. So you can assume it's too late.
Yeah. I think if you start seeing symptoms, they start getting sick, they start acting weird, then you know they're not immune. I think that's fair to say. So I think quarantine and
I go for quarantine.
Wait for symptoms
because you don't know anything.
Yeah.
We're in the realm that there's no zombies up to this point. We've never seen a zombie movie. And we see people are being bit, people are turning.
Well, is that the route we're going down, or are we just placing ourselves in these situations? Because we know about zombies.
We're placing ourselves in the situation, but it's also doing what's best in, like, try to imagine yourself as real life zombie aficionado, meaning this thing happened and from the inception you've witnessed things. So you're still ignorant about some things, right? Like, you're not gaining the knowledge from movies. You're gaining the knowledge from life. You're witnessing things happening, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as you don't keep them once they turn, I agree. Think quarantining them is
I agree.
Probably just to see
what
if they're immune and what happens.
Yep. How do you perceive other survivors you meet along your journey? Potential allies in this harsh world. Threats that need to be approached with caution. Useless unless they have something of value. Temporary companions not getting too attached. I have a hard time with this one.
Yeah, me too.
Because I think they're all threats or temporary companions.
Oh, really? I thought C.
I like that one too.
Which one's C again?
Useless unless they have something of value.
Yeah, so I hate to be harsh, but that's another mouth to feed. If you have nothing to offer our colony, I don't know if we could take you in. It's just a liability, because if I'm talking about running a colony, protecting, let's say we have 7 people, right? That's 7 mouths to feed.
Yep.
If I'm adding an 8th who can't do anything that we can't already do, I'm hurting 6 other people. It's not just me.
Unless it's something that they can do. Well, I mean, the answer itself says it. They have to have something of value. Even if they can only do something that is already being done, but they're able to augment our abilities.
If they could provide some sort of use,
I could go with C. But useless unless they have something of value.
As harsh as it seems, that's every second you could die. So it's about the best candidates. It's not about being nice anymore.
But that's still tough to me, because I also think they're always threats.
I think you have to approach everybody as.
So I think
you're right. You have to approach everybody as a threat.
B is first, but then once we get past that initial encounter, C.
You didn't kill me right away. So.
You're useless unless you have something of value.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm going to go with B.
I agree.
While exploring an abandoned hospital, you hear a faint cry for help. What's your move?
What?
Proceed cautiously, ready for a possible ambush. Rush towards the sound. Every life is worth saving. Ignore it, prioritizing your own safety. Create a diversion to see if it lures anyone or anything out. So, I mean, I kind of like D, but that's wasting resources.
So D is also risky because let's say you're in an abandoned hospital, somebody's calling for help, and you do that, and then a bunch of zombies start coming out the door.
Right.
You just screwed them.
Right.
And yourself. So that seems you just don't know enough info there to do
I think we
that.
could rule out B. Neither one of us are rushing toward the sound.
No, not rushing.
I don't think I'm going to ignore it either.
I don't think I could ignore it, but I think it depends. If I'm by myself, I might ignore it because I'm by myself, and that's asking to walk into an ambush or something. If I'm with a small group, then I'm more willing to check out something like that.
Well, we have a small group. We're our small group.
Just me and you?
Me, you, and the others, but it's just the immediate family.
Okay, yeah, I would say if we're all out and we hear this, then we proceed with caution
I think so.
and see what's happening, because it could be. I mean, you're in a hospital. You never know. What if that's a doctor?
What if that's a doctor?
And that is invaluable.
Yep. Okay, if you had to pick a partner to survive the apocalypse with, who would it be? An army-trained survivalist, a medical doctor, your closest friend or family member, a farmer who knows how to grow food and rear animals. God dang it.
So here's the thing.
I like D, but you got to keep him alive long enough to get to it.
Well, so here's the thing. Farming, ranching, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but that's not something you can't figure out just doing it. You can figure out farming just doing it.
I mean, nature will take care of it mostly.
Yeah, so that's you can't just be a doctor.
Right.
I think anybody can. I say this loosely. This is no disrespect to farmers, because farmers are badass. But I think anybody can learn to be a doctor, or anybody can learn to be a farmer. I don't think anybody can learn to be a doctor.
I'm proof of that. I didn't know anything about any kind of agriculture and learned about oranges, learned about apples, learned about strawberries, and then basic plants, grass, lantana. So yeah, I think you're right.
I think doctor, because that's just the profession that I think you're going to be the most hard pressed to find.
All right.
And it's going to be one of the most vital.
I can't
roles to fill.
find a great argument to disagree with you, so I'm going to go with you. The nights are especially dangerous. Where do you choose to rest? Up in a tree safely away from ground dangers.
I like that.
Inside a locked vehicle. Ugh, I hate that.
I don't like that.
A makeshift tent with traps around.
I don't like that.
You keep moving, not trusting the night at all. I mean, that's probably the best.
I like D, but if I have to stop, I like the idea of going up in a tree, because as long as nothing saw you go up, you should be fine. You shouldn't have to deal with the whole a bunch of zombies underneath you in the morning thing.
Right. I think either we're staying up all night. No, we have kids. We have to go up in a tree.
Well, I would
safely away from ground dangers.
I would hope this is a situation of we got caught out late, that we were on like
right.
Like an expedition. We were gathering food and we got caught out late, not the whole group.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's how I'm seeing this. Is that like one person or maybe a small party gets caught out at night? What do you do?
If that's the case, I think we still go up in a tree, because I don't think we're going to get such a large gathering of zombies. Like you said, as long as we didn't draw them to us, we're not going to have that problem.
Yeah, I think it's risky, but if you can, I think just get back to your base. But I understand that some nights can be way darker than others.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in like a wooded area where there's trees.
And if they're especially dangerous, the longer you stay out there, the harder it is.
Yeah, it could be nearly impossible to be out at night. So high ground, it's your best option.
Which of the following describes your physical condition and skills? Fit and trained in self-defense, knowledgeable about first aid and basic health care, a jack of all trades but master of none, not physically adept but mentally sharp. Well, I'd have to say C. A jack of all trades but master of none. I know a lot about a lot of things. I don't know. I haven't mastered any of them.
I feel like I think I'm more towards D, but I want to say C, but probably D.
Well, if we were combined as one, we're C.
Yeah.
You stumble upon an empty camp with supplies. What do? Take only what you need, leaving the rest for others. Secure the camp and wait for the owners to barter. Grab everything. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Set up a few traps just in case someone unfriendly comes looking.
I don't know what my mindset would be, because my mindset right now is I'm not a thief.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take, unless there was clear signs that these people have died and they aren't coming back. I don't know if I could justify taking it, but I also don't know what my mindset would be like if my colony was starving and I came across all this food and I had the opportunity to just take it.
I think that I assume that they're gone and I take it. I would go with C. Grab everything. It's a dog-eat-dog world. I don't think anybody leaves a camp empty. You just don't
That's
just
a
don't
good
do that.
point. Why would you leave your camp with all your food and everything there?
Something happened to you.
Yeah, I agree.
And last question.
Makes me feel better, at least.
There's a possibility of a safe haven free from zombies a
Okay.
few hundred miles away. What's your move? Form a large group and head towards it together. Venture out solo, avoiding any potential group conflicts. Stay put, believing it's too good to be true. Send a scout first and then decide based on their report.
Between C and D.
I agree. We always hear about these kinds of things, and I think you would have heard about many of these types of things by this time. So I would probably go with D. If I believed it was a real possibility, I think the best thing to do would be to send a scout first.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 miles.
Yep. A few
Jeez.
hundred miles.
A few hundred miles. Well, then you're sending them in a car.
Yep. And one person can travel a lot better than a whole group.
Yeah. I definitely taking the whole group is a dumb decision. There's no point in doing that.
Yeah, I think
you're
A
taking
is
them on a
out.
fool's errand towards you don't even know what.
And you could venture out solo, but then you're like leaving your whole group, which I think is screwed.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a designated scout, then you might as well.
That's what I
send
think.
them.
That's what I think.
That's literally their whole role in the community, then
Here
let
we
them
go.
work.
We are zombie bait, but you've got potential. Okay, so maybe your initial strategies need some work. Your instincts are there, but perhaps you're a bit too trusting or perhaps not quite ready for the harsh realities of a post-apocalyptic world. But don't worry. With some guidance and a few hard lessons, you could climb the ranks of survival in no time. That's our result.
I disagree.
I completely disagree, but that's
What-
okay.
What was that baloney?
Thank
we
you,
picked all the
Quiz
right
Ondo.
answers.
Quiz Ondo. I disagree with you, but thank you for providing that fun little exercise.
We picked all the right answers. What the hell?
Make sure you check us out on our socials. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, all at Will You Survive the Podcast. We're on X, or formerly Twitter, at Alex and Erik WYS. And of course, you can email us at alexanderik@willyousurvivethepodcast.com. We love to hear from you guys. We'd love your suggestions and to tell us, let us know what you guys think. Would you survive Army of the Dead?